Good evening, and thanks so much for your time with us on News at 10. My name is Bright Nanamfo. From now to 10:30, we'll take you through what's happening in Ghana and beyond. The bulletin is live from Adesawe, Kanda, and we're also live on 3FM 92.7. Let's start the bulletin with some of the day's news stories, beginning from here. The Ghana Prison Service has issued a health alert to some prisons across the country to prevent meningitis outbreak. Prisons in the Bonahafo and northern regions are among those advised to be on the lookout for possible cases. Some cane weavers in Accra have called on government to rejuvenate the cane factory at Achim and Yiresi in the eastern region to help reduce unemployment in the country. According to them, business has been good this year as compared to previous years, selling over 500 woven baskets, and anticipate to sell even more as the year wraps up. And related to that, in spite of efforts to encourage Ghanaians to patronize goods produced locally, most of the hampers on sale contain imported products. Vendors attribute this to the demand for only quality goods. And on the international front, Liberians are anxiously waiting for a new president as polls in the presidential runoff ends. Former international footballer George Oponwea and Vice President Joseph Boakai are up for the presidency. And of course, this is the show that you watch every night before you go to bed. Thanks so much. If you're watching us from Wa in the Upper West region, if you're watching us from Kintampo in the Bonafo region, if you're watching us from Elembele in the Western region, we're grateful for your time. Those of you listening to us on 92.7, we're also grateful. Let's start with a big one. Not very good news, because some patients at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital have begun relapsing, posing a threat to health workers due to lack of medications. As of Tuesday, December 26, not even a pack of paracetamol was in stock. Peter Kwadator reports nurses have had to rush to nearby pharmacies for medication in response to emergency cases.
For many years, the Accra Psychiatric Hospital has been in the news for varied reasons ranging from shortage of food items and congestion. Poor infrastructure, lack of medicals and staff conditions of service have become prominent. The situation became worse in 2017, prompting a number of industrial actions. Patients and staff continue to go through challenges, albeit in the quiet. First is the lack of medication. Since the collapse of the central medical stores in 2015, the hospital has been on erratic supply of medicals. Officials say the situation sometimes gets out of hand, resulting in patients relapsing and becoming a threat to staff.
We have another type of medication we call psychotropic drugs. That one is acute shortage, and now it's making the patients to be agitated and restless and aggressive. Sometimes those nurses on duty, they do beat them because there is no medication for them.
Prior to the donation of these few boxes of paracetamol and brufen from Step by Step on Tuesday, December 26, the drugstore was empty.
Because as at now, the hospital, we don't have paracetamol at our dispensary. No paracetamol. So if patient is physically sick, the hospital buy the drugs for that particular patient. But this one, I think it will help us to solve at least small problem we are facing on patient medication.
Of much concern to the medical staff is the state of the infrastructure. Commissioned in 1906, The Accra Psychiatric Hospital has not received any major renovation. The roofs are weak as other metal fittings have become rusty. Doors to most of the rooms are damaged or completely removed, resulting in frequent escape at night.
We also appeal to those who can help us to renovate some of the walls, because as you can see, they will sleep at midnight, they will climb the wall and abscond.
The Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, during the 2017 Eid al-Fitr, promised to ensure the renovation of the main male ward, but this is yet to materialize. Church groups like the West Volta Presbytery Women Fellowship have stepped in to help.
Every year we try to do something because you don't know who will come here. You may be one of them. So every year, as much as we can, we try to renovate the place, make it comfortable for the patients.
Another major challenge in the hospital is access to water. The entire facility relies on boreholes, which is inadequate. This one, constructed by the late Professor Arthur Mills, is yet to be connected to the system. This one too has stopped functioning for many years. Patients have had to fetch from available ones donated by philanthropists.
I am appealing to all Ghanaians who should give to this type of people. There is nobody who will help them unless we, the outside people, who can help them.
On 26 December, a number of groups joined the West Volta Presbytery Women Fellowship, which has adopted a female observation ward, to present assorted items to the inmate as part of their annual rituals.
Right, and let's stay on this issue and speak to the Health Ministry. Robert Kujo is a public relations officer of that ministry. He's just joined me on the phone lines. Good evening, sir. Grateful for your time. Now, is the ministry aware of the shortage of medication at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital?
He's very much aware. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas too.
Good. Yeah, the psychiatric hospitals use what you call psychotropic medicines. Unfortunately, for the past 6 years, they are supposed to have these medicines in every 2 years. They are supposed to be procured for these mental health authorities. And for the past 6 years, these medicines have not been procured. What is happening is that the various psychiatric hospitals have been relying mainly on benevolent institutions, specifically Dr. Wiafe, the what we call it, the Breast Cancer Foundation CEO. This woman has done so much for our psychiatric hospital that I don't think we can have any way to describe what she's been doing. She brings all kinds of goods from U.S. and other countries. In fact, this one is so connected that she's even connected to the White House in the U.S. So she brings so much drugs into this country. And once she brings them, they sort those that are psychotropic and give that to the psychiatric hospitals. And at times, the medicines that this woman will give to these hospitals can last for between 3 to 6 months. And other benevolent institutions, I mean, you see people giving them some philanthropics, also providing them with some of these assistance. But the government side has not been forthcoming. For the past 6 years, they are supposed to receive these medicines every 2 years.
Every 2 years. For
the past 6 years, they have received none. And another source from which they get their medicine is from private pharmacists. They go credit. They use them in this case because they buy them, sell them, they charge the mental patients with these drugs, and they pay for it. So these are the sources by which they have been relying on to run the hospital, which is not the best. But according to them, there's a good news now. At least for the past 2 or 3 years, they never received any government of Ghana budget. But at least to them, it's a good deal because this year they have received some amount of money. Though small, according to them, they have at least received something this year. And there's also a statement that the government is preparing to procure about $3 million worth, US dollar worth of drugs. These drugs that are used on these our mental patients. So it's a welcome news, and we're praying that this will be fast-tracked so that they'll go back to the former ways where every 2 years they receive these drugs, they store them and use them for the whole of the 2-year period without relying solely on outsiders to run the hospitals. So it's something that has come to our attention. We are aware, but the new government is doing all that it can to ensure that they get a smooth running of these facilities going forward.
I see. Dr. Kwesiose has been championing for the LI on the Mental Health Act. And he's been saying that, look, when this thing is properly done, all these challenges would become a thing of the past. Perhaps, isn't it a time now we pay particular attention to ensuring that the LI is working so that money, the fund is set up and money comes into it so that they can quickly go ahead and purchase these medicines?
I think it's the right thing to do, and I believe it's come up a couple of times in our meetings. I believe the government has heard it, and we're entering 2018. I believe strongly that something urgent will be done in passing this LI. I don't think, well, you see, there are certain things, Ghana, it becomes so difficult for you to say because of the political twist and all that, even within your own ministry. Left to me alone. But that is unfortunate. You see, in the advanced countries, when they are sharing the national cake, they start from the disadvantaged, the poor, the needy. But in our part of the world, in African countries, it's the opposite. You even go to the district assemblies. The disabled are, by law, are supposed to get about, I think, some 5% or something as part of the common fund.
Right.
Go to the MMDCs and find out. Hardly did they get this money. They'll be clawing, they'll be doing all that they can to get this money. This small percentage, 100% for the assembly. They should give them only 5%, only 5%. They wonder why. They will use that 5% to organize their programs. And these poor brothers and sisters of ours will be trooping in their day in and day out, and nobody will mind them. And nobody says anything. I'm sure auditors go there every year. I don't know, they cover up or whatever. These monies are not given to them. But the auditors always pass them. They go through their books and everything is all right. To me, that is what is happening. But then here, when you want to say the truth, when you want to put the facts on the table, I mean, within your own ministry, I mean, somebody will come, what do you say? What? No. What I'm saying is, we should learn to put things right. The disadvantaged, the poor, these are the people who should have the heart, a big heart for them. And in sharing the national cake, we should start from there. Go to the school for the deaf, the blind. They don't have places to sleep. Even they are feeding. Why? For 6 solid years, a government in power will cease from procuring this vital, this important drug for these our unfortunate brothers and sisters. What do you expect them to do? You don't care about them because excuse me to say, because they are mental, they are not human beings. They don't care. They can die. You don't care. Whatever. No, as a nation, we can't run a nation like this.
Right.
And thank God, this government is showing something different. I believe they'll continue. And that this LI, which Dr. Say has been championing since I came to the ministry, he has mentioned it at least twice in my ears. He's been pleading. I believe the government will see to it, pass it, and then so that there will be money into this fund, and this kind of challenges will become a thing of the past, because we have only three mental hospitals. There are not many. So how much do they need to run the facility efficiently? Just a small money. So when the LI is passed, but again, because in this part of the world, we don't regard the underdog, the unfortunate. That is how we go about things. But again, like I said, at least this year, they are all telling me that, in fact, they're happy about this government, because at least this year, some monies have been given to them as part of the DOG. And then the government has also promised to ensure that some $3 million worth of these drugs for our brothers and sisters out there will be procured for them. And I believe that is a good news.
Robert, I'm grateful for your time with us. Robert Kujo is the Public Relations Officer of the Health Ministry. They're talking to me. There's more after this break. Stay with us. This is News at 10. Welcome back. TV3 has secured exclusive photos and videos of some illegal miners operating in the heart of the Tiwa forest. The pictures, which were taken with a hidden camera by environmental civil society group Arocha Ghana, captures some illegal miners busily working. Some are also pictured resting in what appears to be a makeshift tent, providing shelter for them.
These illegal miners, according to the civil society group, operate under the cover of darkness and at the blind side of the Operation Vanguard team. The pictures were taken with a hidden camera by environmental civil society group Arocha Ghana. This comes after some 14 illegal miners operating on the Ofin River at Manso Keniago in the Amansia West district of the Ashanti region were arrested by a combined team of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, the Amansia West District Assembly's task force, and the police. The Tiwa forest currently serves as a source for 3 rivers, namely the Densu, Brim, and Ayensu, which supplies the Wager Water Dam in Accra and serves over 5 million of Ghana's population with drinking water. Already, concerns have been raised by some civil society groups that mining the bauxite in the Tiwa forest might be detrimental to the forest reserve and also affect water bodies in the area. Government has clarified that the Tiwa forest might not be considered for bauxite exploration, and even if it is, this could be done without destroying the reserve, a statement which civil society groups have disputed. The group is calling on government to intensify its operations in and around the Tiwa forest area to clamp down on what it described as a continuous destruction of resources in the forest.
Now, on this very worrying issue, my colleague Alfredo Kanse earlier spoke with the program director of Arocha Ghana, Daryl Bosu, initially finding out from him when the organization detected the activities of illegal mining in the forest.
In terms of mining in the forest, I think we noticed activities right after the ban, and even whilst the ban was, before the ban came into force, there were some few Galamsey operators who were working busily in the forest reserve. But I think with the ban that came in early March, we've seen an increase in mining activities ongoing in the forest. Because most of these Galamsey operators, they want to hide away from the broad daylight activities and engage in their illegal activities in the dark of the forest and also in the night. As you all know, we have the Vanguard team working very actively by day, but in the nights, you don't see them so active. So these Galamsey operators have also devised other means or modus operandi to work in the dark of the night. And some of them go with headlamps and also some of their own generator-powered lights which enables them to work even when it is very dark. And most of these activities are going on in the forest reserve. The pictures you are seeing now, they are just about 3 weeks old. And I will say that just last week, the 22nd of this month, we're in the ground again, and we saw almost the same thing we are seeing from 3 weeks ago. So nothing has changed on the ground as I speak. There are still these active galamsey activities going on in the forest. These guys are working in the thick of the night. They go in the night with their foodstuffs, go and work, and then by day they rest in the community. So when they are going back into the forest in the evening, they go with their foodstuffs so they can work and also feed themselves.
Where exactly the part of the forest is this going on? Because we earlier spoke to Operation Vanguard about this particular story. When you first gave us indication of this some 3 weeks ago, they denied it, that this is not what is happening.
If you take the Kwabeng Atiwa district, so that is towards the western side of the forest reserve. If you take the Atiwa district end of the forest reserve, if you also take the Denchambo Akwetia district end of the forest reserve, looking at Pameng, Kobriso, and all those communities towards the western side of the forest reserve, this is where all these illegal activities are happening.
Now, Venice is struggling through her education with a deformity that started when she was 9 years old. After virtually lying down to write her BEC, her problems at the senior high school level seem to have worsened. She struggles to sit through lessons. She needs 95,000 cedis to undergo surgery.
Venice has a potential of doing well. She's trying, despite her incapability or disability. She still tries to rub shoulders with her other colleagues who are capable. She tries to relate well, but then there's that inferiority complex. So you realize that at times she's quiet when her other colleagues are jumping, doing other stuff. Then she sits down quietly looking at them, and you could see the sadness in her face.
This nearly threw Venice out of the boarding house, and this would have meant her dropping out. She lives some kilometers away from Adaklu Waya, the capital of the Adaklu district. Her admission at the Adaklu Senior High School has saved her education. Her condition has not deterred her from helping her family. I met her at home doing house chores despite her disability. Her condition is bad.
I want people to help me for my sickness to be done for me, and I can concentrate on my book and learn hard to become my future. If I sit down for a long period, I feel pains. So if I'm learning small, then I'll pack the books and rest. Sometimes I put my head on the table to sleep small before starts again.
She can hardly sleep well at night. Doctors at the Focus Orthopedic Hospital in Accra say she needs 95,000 cedis to undergo surgery. Her family can't afford it. They are peasant farmers.
Some group, Blue Education Trust Fund, they came and donate something, and then Adaklu platform, they also came and donate something, but still we didn't reach any. So I'm begging the people to help us.
Bubbly and hard working at school, she has many friends who support her. She can't do a lot of things on her own. A brilliant student, learning is a difficulty due to this. The school didn't want to admit her to the boarding house due to her condition.
Venice, what do you know about this topic, self-identity?
Self-identity is the state of a complete talent, social and
Yeah, you're on course.
I think she's not fit as such at this moment to be in the boarding house because she cannot fetch water on her own. go to the bathhouse, carry the water and go and bath, wash her things. Even at the dining hall, the rate at which she can eat is rather different from what.
And Venice needs 95,000 cedis to help her through her education. That's it. And that's how we're wrapping up the show for tonight. My name is Bright Nana. For the show was put together by Godfred Tanam. Have a great night and stay right here on TV3.